towards the end. I wrote this letter last year in July. Please don't hug me after this, it makes me uncomfortable. It's called Lads Listen. Lads Listen, my name is Connor Thornton. I am 26 and I have seen some shit. On the first weekend of July, I attended the Longitude Festival in Dublin with two of my best friends to enjoy some of the finest rap this world has to offer, and Cardi B, in what is easily the top 5 festivals I've ever experienced. The only drugs I consumed was caffeine and conversation around nothing, unlike the rest of the attendees whose diet was largely alcohol, overpriced burgers, and under-counter poppers. Talking is good. Talking is healthy. Talking is why I have written this letter. This letter is a letter of resignation from Worley, effective from the 2nd of September 2019, resulting in a leave date of the 27th of September 2019. I have loved my time here, during which was in the middle of the 2 roughest and a half years of my life, my assumedly young, short and innocent life. The 2nd of September is my father's birthday. The 1st of October is my grandmother's birthday. Her name was Isabel, who passed away 2 years ago after a heartbreaking battle with dementia. 3 months before, my family lost their grandfather Leslie, who endured years-long encounter with various forms of cancer. A few months afterwards, my uncle Jim passed away. He too had fought through dementia in his final years. On the 2nd of October 2018, my father almost bled out in front of me. I thought he had died. He had hit his head in a drunken accident following a night of drinking in memory of his mother, and he had cut the top of his head open. He was sitting at the top of the stairs. I was at the bottom, about to leave for work, when I saw him holding a blood-red towel in his hand. I had to run up and stop him from falling down. I sat him down, he was breathing hoarsely, and I was trying to gauge what had happened, and at one point, while trying to keep him talking, his head gave way. He stopped breathing for a good 15 seconds before he came back through, talking about white lights and seeing his mum. I then lifted him up a set of stairs I had run up and down on at excessive speed for years as a child, a teenager, and part of my 20s. I put him into the recovered position and tried to stem the flow of blood with a kitchen towel while phoning 999 to get assistance. My dad is a haemophiliac, which means his blood does not clot. As he had been drinking, his blood was thinner than normal. He lay there for almost an hour as me and my mother waited for an ambulance to arrive from Dundee while he drifted in and out of consciousness. A week after, he fucked off to Spain to celebrate my uncle's 50th. He was fine. I was not. 6 months before I started for this company, I had walked out of my last job, a restaurant that for legal reasons shall remain nameless. As I was denied a day off, I was experiencing an anxiety attack and in the middle of a severe depressive episode, and this was inconvenient for them. I couldn't talk to my colleagues about how I was feeling or what I was going through at the time because it was too much to navigate. I was used to feeling low as I'd never had much going for me, to be honest, and I had worked hard through it like every other time. These dark feelings and the thoughts reared its ugly head. It's what we do as humans. We have a need to do that is unquestionable. It is unanswered every day and it drives us to continue. We are here. Mental health generally is a taboo topic. It is. Say it out loud in a room, the dynamic will change, but stories, lives, experiences make us who we are. I've been through depression. I have anxiety. I have gone through post-traumatic stress disorder and I went through it here. I went through it in front of everyone. On January the 11th at 10 to 5, I had a breakdown in the HR and recruitment section of my company's office. I walked into the centre and said that my father had almost died in front of me, my car was crashed into, my first girlfriend in 10 years had broken up with me. These 3 events all occurred in the space of 2 weeks, and 9 days after the breakup I turned 26 years old. I'd also started attending RGU for a degree in software development that I was doing for this company, and then I came out to my parents as bisexual 2 weeks before Christmas. I wanted to be better. I wanted everyone to know it was okay to not be okay, that I was trying. Work was not an issue. Work was not part of my stress, yet when I had taken 2 weeks off to mentally recover in November, when I came back I had no idea what to say to people I worked with about where I'd been. I wasn't on fucking holiday. On this day, my counsellor had cancelled our session, so therapy was happening on that day whether I liked it or not, and part of me felt like I owed them an explanation. Being IT, I was someone who was in high demand, and I was cursed with the gift of being able to fix things barely anyone could wrap their heads around. They definitely had no idea about this. At that moment, on that day, I needed to be heard by someone. I was used to deal with my depression, I can cope with my anxiety, I've endured it since I was 15, when I was fat, temporarily unable to walk without crutches, and a failure according to my school and our government. This time I felt beyond useless. The loneliness and isolation was crushing. I had never dealt with true trauma before. PTSD was different. This was new, this was darker, this made no sense. Each day I did not want to be here, but I still came in. Because you do. Because life can be fucking rough. This could have happened to anyone. It did. It happened to me. After the breakdown, at the assistance of my HR managers who were in the room at the time, I began counselling and various therapies probably for the first time. I was being heard. My vicious and cerebrally punishing experiences and thoughts were being validated as truly awful, and that's what I needed. I didn't want to go for a jog to take my mind off it. My coping mechanisms that had been in place extensively since my teens were not working as they should. My support network was inconsistent, and through counselling it was made apparent I had some form of spectrum disorder, likely Asperger's syndrome, and to strike upon this discovery in the middle of this period did not help matters. Work was what got me through the day. Work is where I was needed, where I was valued, where my worth was not questioned. Work was something tangible with outcomes and milestones that I could process, follow through with, and resolve. I got shit done. and I was respected immensely for it. Through having something to dig my teeth into in place of a distraction, I was able to rewire myself, and work became a safe place for me where my personal life couldn't get in. The negative effect from this was that I couldn't let my personal life out. I felt like I couldn't talk about myself, but I could talk about work. I cannot thank the people of that company enough for being there. I cannot comprehend the support and motivation I received during this time from my peers, which would have been unachievable without the support of Andy Adey, Doug Owen, Fergus McFarlane, the HR and recruitment teams, Anne Stewart, Kelly Golightly, Susan Ballantyne, Alex McGee, Danielle Cosgrove, Daniel Grant, Ian Stewart, Sarah Webster, Amir Barclay, Laura Grant, Lee Monroe, Paul Seaman, Sarah Clark, John Curry and Ross Dundas, who sadly passed away in March this year. Things can change. Time does not heal all wounds, but it does allow us space to work on those wounds. Talking is one of the fundamental things that make us human. Communication is how we achieve everything. Communication has historically brought us a long way, be it positive or negative, and communication is key to one of my favourite songs, Schism by Tool, one of my favourite bands of all time. A band I had waited patiently for 10 long years to see live at my favourite festival in the world, Download. This in itself is motivation to make it through these times, knowing that this was in the distance, knowing that I'd see that band, my second family, my second home. There was a time that the pieces fit, but I watched them fall away, mildewed and smouldering, strangled by our coveting. I've done the math enough to know the dangers of our second guessing, doomed to crumble unless we grow and strengthen our communication. I know the pieces fit, because I watched them fall away, and I had to put them back together on my own. It has embedded in me the decision to leave, to invest in myself instead of the oil and gas industry. I am not your kind. An industry that 5 years ago, when I was on job seekers allowance and using food banks to survive day to day, was working as a volunteer mentor to under 18s with drug and alcohol problems, teaching life skills, did not seem like a possibility. It is also not a reality that I will be in this industry in 5 years' time. I wish everyone the greatest success and the greatest support to those who wish to achieve what they wish in their time in this industry. I wish that those who may be experiencing their own difficulties learn from my experience. It is okay to not be okay. You will get through this. Be proud of yourselves. Someone cares about you. Spiral out. Keep going. Thank you.